and Greg Biffle was the leader. He has a little bit of fender damage from that run-in earlier on the track. 4 tires, no adjustments. He's thirsty, needs a drink, and that is for Greg Biffle. Dave?
Drew Blickensurfer said, let's force their hand. We're coming for 4. We're going to make a wedge adjustment just a little bit tight in the center of the corner, and then we'll let you race your way back through. Doc?
Add the 22 car in. That is Brad Keselowski. 4 tires are going to add some air pressure to the right side tires. The car just not getting the grip he wanted to try to get him back on him where he can very comfortable, though, in the middle of the corner. Want to get the car to be able to turn coming up off under throttle.
Well, let's take a look at the race off pit road, courtesy of Nationwide Insurance. Brad Keselowski picks up 2 spots. Good work for the 22 crew. Biffle, Allgaier each lose a spot. Carl picks up 2. And Mike Bliss, well, he drops 5 in that last round. Stay with us. Well, let's get caught up on what's happened so far with our 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap. And Brad Keselowski, as you can see right from the start of the race, having some issues. We found out later that the tire pressures were low and the car was sort of scuffing its way around the track. And then for Joe Gibbs Racing, who has never won here in the Nationwide Series, all of a sudden the 20 and the 18 got very racy as they kept moving towards the front. And Steve Wallace involved in this melee that also caught up Brian Scott as he gets turned by Scott Wimmer. And then there goes Colin Brown, and Wallace right into him where he had nowhere to go. And then Casey Kane came back from overheating problems where they dropped all the way back to 24th position and ended up cooling the car down, and he got hot right up until this moment when he got swept up in another multi-car crash and unfortunately had fought his way back to 5th and now finds himself behind the wall. We're getting ready to go back to green. Let's set it for you. 4 cars stayed out. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Leffler, Townley, Menard. Those are the 4 that stayed out. The wave rounds include Keller, Ponstein, McClure, and Josh Wise. And we're back to green flag racing here on lap number 197. Boy, and Stenhouse gets real high, and he is getting freight trained on the right-hand side of your screen. Just say bye-bye. Race lead, give it to Leffler now in the 10. That gives us our 9th different leader. The record, I believe, I'm going to check it, I think it's 10, guys, so we may be closing in on a record. Here comes Brad Keselowski, Paul Menard, and Greg Biffle.
Brad Keselowski's crew did a great job getting him out there.
And we're going to get another caution, our 7th. We've got debris on the front stretch. So here at the Scott's Turf Builder 300, we've almost made it to the 2/3 mark of the race. And we are now looking at what will happen as far as this final stretch. Fuel should not seem to be wearing pretty doggone good. What do you think, crew?
They probably made their last pit stop, so we're going to see a lot of, like Dale said, a lot of racing, and everybody's going to be trying to take more than giving this last race, this last 100 laps.
And let me correct myself. It's record leaders, 9. The old record was 8. It was off by Kyle Barn race reporter Carl Edwards. Let's turn it over to you, DJ.
DJ, you have a copy?
4, but then at the front they're screaming about that, so didn't work out quite like we needed to. 10-4, yeah, I got you, DJ.
Hey, man, I'll make this kind of simple. Tell us about your car, the racetrack, and what you expect here in these last 100 laps.
Our Copart Fusion is good. It's better than our position right now. You know, as I slid through my pit stall, we only got 2 tires that last run, and we were still pretty competitive. So now we've got 4, and the track hasn't changed a lot. The track stayed pretty much the same. We just, you know, got to have a good restart here, and if we can get up by a couple of these guys, I think we're going to be good.
Hey, Carl, we've seen making a pass on the inside be very difficult. Can you explain to our viewers what is making that so difficult?
Oh, well, they did such a great job with the racetrack. They made every lane. You're able to run the same speed in every lane. And so what happens when you run under someone, you get loose sometimes because of the air. You know, it doesn't seem like we're going that fast, but the air is still a big part of it. And it just makes it hard to complete that pass. Plus, they get that little run off of the hill around the top. You know, exactly the same speed bottom makes the pass.
Hey, have you seen that safer barrier that they added, making any difference to the racing and what you have to do as a driver?
I saw it real well a couple times. But no, it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. You know, if I didn't know it was there, I probably wouldn't have noticed the change. So if it's safer, that's good. Outside.
Okay, man, good luck.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, let's also tell you that 28 of Kenny Wallace gets the lucky dog. That gives us 25 cars back on the lead lap. And Carl will restart in the 8th position behind Leffler, Brad Keselowski, Biffle, Menard, Allgaier, Townley, and Kyle Busch. How about Super Chef Jamie Oliver? You know who he is? Well, you will. He's coming to the unhealthiest city in America to start the ultimate food fight. And what he does here could change an entire nation. Jamie Oliver's Food Revolution. It's a 2-hour premiere Friday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. But a special sneak preview tomorrow at 10 Eastern right here on ABC. Lights out on the pace car, so Leffler gets the choice. And again, we're going to see him choose the outside lane. And we have just passed the 2/3 mark. We'll have 98 laps to go this time by. Pace car pulls off. Leffler, our 9th different leader, with Brad Keselowski right underneath him. And we're back to green flag racing here at Bristol.
Well, Keselowski did a great job on that restart. Now he's got the lead from the inside.
Well, remember, Keselowski's got fresher tires than Leffler by almost 45 laps. And it's showing right there as Keselowski really opens it up. That's our 16th different lead change.
Yeah, but just like Carl Edwards said, these two cars running side by side. You can see how they come off the corner about the same speed. Even though the 10-car Leffler has more laps on his tires, he's able to still hold that position off of Greg Biffle.
Paul Menard in the 98. John West Townley gets a little high, but the 60 of Carl Edwards cannot get under him. He still runs side by side with Kyle Busch. Right behind that group is the 20 of Joey Logano and the 33 of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, Carl's in a situation there. He's not sure which one of these lanes. The outside has been the preferred lane on these restarts, but it really wasn't moving, so he moved down. Now he's back to the top.
Well, what he's looking at, he sees some cars in the outside lane that don't have fresh tires. He's thinking, that, here we go.
Short around his contact with Will again. He was 21st at the time of the spin, and that should be our 8th caution of the day.
It's a little sales in this 100.
We're going to. Oh, he got loose.
Yeah, he just got loose and got into Joe. Not much. No, it didn't happen intentionally. It was just not enough room.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Don't expect too many cars, at least none of the front runners, to pull into pit road. So we'll step aside here at Bristol as we still got about 93 laps to go.
ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Nationwide Series on ABC. Brought to you by the makers of Zantac, heartburn relief that lasts up to 12 hours. And Sears, life well spent.
Back here at Bristol, we are under caution once again. 7th time. Brad Keselowski is our race leader. Tell you, Jason Keller, 35th, the lucky dog. That'll bring 6 car back on to the lead lap. It came around to take the checkered flag in the night race and drive on up to victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And you want to talk about comebacks. Remember we said he started 37th? It's not the only one, but it is one of the best as far as coming all the way back. Take a look at this. 38th for Kevin Harvick back in April of 2005 was the deepest anybody has come, but you can see Bobby Labonte, Steve Grissom, and Casey Kane's win in 2007 as well. Let's get more on Brad.
Marty, you mentioned he came all the way from 37th. Win that most proud of when he goes back and watches that tape is the fact that when he got lane, there was not a single scratch on that race car. That's hard to believe coming from the back of the field at Bristol. And that's what he did this week. He said, I went back when I got here on Thursday and watched the tape of that race to remind me I've got to be very, very patient here at Bristol.
Well, and his day started, if you missed a countdown, with a meeting mandatory by NASCAR with his car owner and along with Carl Edwards and his car owner, and they hashed out all the differences. And from that point on, it's been a little bit eventful out on the racetrack as well, but it's always that way here at Bristol, as he's going to choose the outside lane with Leffler inside of him, then Biffle, Menard, Allgaier, Townley. That's your top 6. Boy, and he has been good on these last 2 restarts.
Yeah, it looks like they've got the tire pressures where he wants them and certainly got him out in front of the rest of the guys that pitted that last time. And that's been a big advantage for him.
Yeah, we heard Doc say when they made their last pit stop, they actually went up on the right side tire pressures, and I think that's one thing that's helping him get going right on these starts. He really struggled the beginning of the race getting going on cold tires.
Yeah, we showed you that on the recap. I mean, he had the car even bottoming out, he was reporting on the radio.